Good day everyone, my name is Eugene Emencito and I am the first presenter of the Group 3. So our subject matter for today is about global demography and global migration. For most of human history, population changes were stable with slow growth and gradual shift in age structures, birth rates, and death rates. So for the majority of human history though, population growth was slow and steady due to the balance between the high birth rates and death rates. Additionally, meron mga few major disruptions to this balance such as the pandemics or the large-scale wars, which resulted in stable population and age structures. However, with the recent advancement in medicine and agriculture, birth rates started or began to exceed death rates, leading to rapid population growth. While epidemics and pandemics could significantly impact population, these effects were usually temporary and did not affect long-term periods. So even though may mga diseases like plagues that could kill many people, that didn't change how population grew over long periods. So once the disease passed, people would start having babies again, and the population would eventually go back to growing like it did before.
Good day, ma'am. So I am Rofaim Grace L. Ramos, and I will be the one who will continue our reporting.
However, in the past 50 years, this stability has shifted to significant demographic changes, particularly in developed countries where a post-war baby boom was followed by a rapid decline in birth rates. This has transformed age structures, creating a distinct baby boom generation.
Sa paglipas nga ng panahon at maraming henerasyon, marami na ang nagbabago, pati na rin ang mga mauunlad na bansa kasama na rin ang ating demographic. But because of the post-war baby boom, our structure also transformed at nalikha ang henerasyong baby boom.
The aging of the baby boom generation, along with ongoing declines in birth rates and death rates among elderly, is causing population in developed countries to become older. Meanwhile, developing countries are experiencing a population explosion due to better nutrition, healthcare, and public health system.
Dahil nga raw sa pagtanda ng henerasyong baby boom at sa pagbaba ng mga rates, may mga pagkakataon na mas nagiging maunlad ang ibang bansa dahil napagtutuunan nila ng pansin ang kanilang nutrisyon at kanilang health system.
This rapid growth of global population in recent decades has led to a significant number of people of childbearing age. These create population momentum, meaning that many countries, especially developing ones, will continue to experience population growth for years, even if their birth rates are declining.
So, hindi naman talaga maiiwasan sa ating panahon ngayon ang paglaki at pagdami ng populasyon dahil lumilipas ang mga taon at henerasyon. Kaya ang pagdami ng ating populasyon ngayon ay nagdudulot ng populasyon momentum na nagpapatunay na kahit ang mga maunlad na bansa ay nakakaranas rin ito, even though some of their birth rate ay bumababa.
In countries that have experienced a baby boom followed by a decline in birth rates, a workforce size increases. If these countries successfully integrate a baby boom generation into jobs, they can achieve significant economic growth. However, countries that fail to capitalize on this opportunity may face issues with a large number of underemployed and restless working age individuals. Global migration. Basically, there is no country left today that is not being affected directly or sometimes indirectly by the migratory phenomenon. Population changes have potentially huge implications for the pace and progress of economic development.
Hey ma'am, I am Renalyn Ibillones. Today, I will discuss that in contemporary immigration studies, migrants can be categorized based on their sending and receiving societies into three groups. Number 1, elite immigrants who belong to the political ruling class and include highly skilled professionals. Number 2, commoner migrants who seek better economic opportunities, including unskilled and labor migrants. Refugee migrants who are forced to migrate due to ethno-political conflicts, or environmental disasters. For example, an Indian software engineer moving to Silicon Valley for high-paying job company. The traditional concepts or colonizers and colonized are largely outdated as it no longer practical to conquer and seize political power in host scientists. Today, modern transition and advancement in information technology have created a highly interconnected and independent world. For example, economic interdependence, countries like the United States and China are highly dependent on one another. Economically, the US relies on China for manufacturing goods, while China depends on the US for the customers market and technological innovation. Migration generates some goods opportunities for migrants, their families, and in some cases, for countries or origin. The incomes that migrants makes the foreign country can be many multiple of the amounts what they would earn by doing similar jobs in their home country. For example, consider a migrant from a developing country who moves to developed nation for work. In many cases, wages in the foreign country can be much higher than in the home country. A migrant working in a construction or agriculture in a weather country might earn several times more than they would if they remained in their home country.
The increase in economics can be proved to be very beneficial in the welfare of developing countries, and also for human development of migrants' families. Return migration can have multiple benefits. It allows migrants who have accumulated savings abroad to age credit constraints at home and set up a business. Also, immigrants from low and middle income countries who have invested in their human capital may earn higher wage when they return, however, whether the home country benefits from return migrants depends on the migrant's success in accumulating savings in human capital and on the home country's ability to make use of returnees' skills and investments. To benefit from returnees, home countries need policies that encourage returnees' investment in labor market reintegration. Many questions surround return migration. The three quarters at all global international migrants. This is the two types: low and middle income countries, high income countries. That's all. Thank you.
Globalization is the deeply connected with economic system and markets which on their turn impact and are impacted by social issues, cultural factor, and its demographic status that are hard to overcome, regional specificities, timing of action, and collaborative networks. So, what is globalization? Globalization is the process of increasing interconnectedness among countries, primarily driven by economic system, markets, technologies, trade, and communication, which links nations and regions, enabling the flows of goods, services, and ideas. The positive example of globalization is the spread of technologies such as mobile banking in Africa has connected millions to financial system. The negative example is outstanding in globalization has led to economic growth in developing nations and the poor working condition and local job loss in developed nations. On the other hand, The regionalization of the world system and economic activity undermines the potential benefits coming out from the liberalized global economy. This is because the regional organization respond to the state attempt to reduce the perceived negative effect of globalization. So what is regionalization? Regionalization refers to the process of dividing the world into regions that collaborate economically, politically, or culturally. For example, the example is the European Union. Similarly, in NAFTA, USMCA has strengthened trade among the US, Canada, and Mexico, but also sparked debates about its impact on non-member countries.
Good day, ma'am. My name is Jacet Joy El Silverio. Regionalism acts as a counter of globalization. Additionally, demographic transition refers to a historical period in which mortality and fertility rates decline from high or low levels in significant country of region. For example, in Sweden, the demographic transition from high birth and death rates to low birth and death rates took over a century starting in late 18th century. In India, this process has been much faster, largely occurring over a few decades due to advancement in healthcare and technology introduced in the mid-20th century. While the general patterns of this transition is similar worldwide, the spread and timing of changes can differ significantly among countries. For example, technology adoption. The United States saw the adoption of Internet spread gradually during 1990s. The experience of rapid adoption of mobile banking technologies like M-Pesa in 2000s leapfrogging traditional banking system.
In the globalization, migration has also left remark for it generate some good opportunities and cases for the countries of origin. The incomes that migrants make in the foreign country can be many multiple of the amount what they could earn by doing similar job in their home country. Ibig sabihin, in the globalization and immigration has also sa globalization kailangan nating umalis o lumipat.